There are two key operational features, and mastering these is vital. They are adding evidence and using action plans. All other processes are based around these two mainstays, which automatically generate and organise content, including reports and activities once they are entered. The next section looks at adding evidence. Adding evidence. Evidence is designed to show how your service meets the compliance requirement. This is normally a written statement, but it can be supported with examples of appropriate policies and procedures, or any other electronic document that helps support the statement you have made. Click on the standard you wish to add evidence against. This then opens a view of the CLOEs and supplementary questions for each CLOE. Clicking the text of the CLOE selects and highlights it, and the relevant supplementary questions show on the right. These will change as you select different CLOEs. Select the relevant CLOE and click on the button labelled Evidence to go to the Evidence Entry screen. This is the Evidence Entry screen. Firstly, decide if you want to add evidence to the CLOE itself, the main question that is highlighted at the top, or if you would prefer to add evidence against one of the questions below. Ideally, you should be able to evidence all of the questions, including the supplementary ones. However, if you feel that you can cover everything in a single statement, then you can just add it to the CLOE. Keep your evidence short and to the point, and break down elements into separate evidence items to avoid rambling entries. Remember that an inspector should be able to find succinct and relevant evidence quickly and easily. Clicking on the question you want to answer highlights it, and the evidence you put in will then apply directly to that selected question. Any previously entered evidence is shown on the right. To add evidence, click Add Evidence. If there is no evidence already present, you can just click straight into the evidence entry box on the right-hand side. To help you, there are examples to give you some ideas of the sort of things you can say. These examples can be dragged and dropped into the evidence entry box by clicking on the relevant text, holding down the left-hand mouse button, and then dragging the example you want to use. Remember, these are only examples and should be used with care. They may not be applicable to your service, so do ensure they reflect your service. They are there for your guidance and to give you a head start when trying to come up with statements that evidence your compliance with the standard. Once you are happy with the evidence statement, select a valid to date and an owner. The owner will be the user responsible for reviewing the evidence. They will be emailed on the date selected to remind them to review the evidence. If it is due within the next 4 weeks, it will show on the activity pane on the home screen. It is a good idea not to have all evidence being valid to the same date, as this will create a large influx of evidence to review at exactly the same time at some point in the future. Spread it across the year, perhaps picking certain standards, for example, safe or caring, for particular months of the year, so that you can review the same topic at the same time. We recommend that all evidence should be reviewed at least annually, and if there is something more urgent that requires your attention, then select a date much nearer to today. The system allows you to upload your policies and procedures and to index them so that the relevant policies for each standard appear when you are in the evidence entry screen. Clicking on the Policy Procedure box reveals a list enabling you to select relevant documents to support your evidence. If you have not yet loaded your policies, then this list will be blank. There are detailed instructions in the help file covering this. You can also attach any other file to support your evidence. Perhaps you have a photo or a video, or examples of any sort of practice or feedback which support your evidence statement. You can attach as many files as you like by clicking on the Browse button. Do not upload large files, as these will significantly impact on the usability of the system because of extended up and download times. Once you are happy with your evidence statement, click Save. If you are interrupted before you finish a particular item of evidence, you can click Save with Memo, and the system will create a reminder for you which can be accessed via the Memo tab on the home screen. Clicking the reminder will take you back to the incomplete item to complete at a later date. The final step is to flag it with a colour that represents your self-assessed view of your service's compliance with that question. You will notice when you hover over the colour, a description appears which gives you some additional guidance. Any evidence which you label amber or red will require some additional focus, and you should use an action plan. To see a report on all the evidence items for the question, you can click on Print Summary Doc. This will create a report listing all of the evidence for the standard you are working on. This opens in a new tab on your browser, so when you are finished, close that tab to return to the main system. Adding evidence process. From the home screen, select the standard, select the key lines of inquiry, click the Evidence button, enter your evidence and self-assess the status using the colour indicator, save your evidence.